IAS will start discussing current affairs on 22 July, and first topic is Bimaru tag. In the context, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister said state has been divergent from Bimaru tag and now contributing positively in the process of India's development. How the Bimaru tag struck. Reports over 50 years have pointed to the distinct districts in these 4 states, that is Bihar, UP, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Okay. So huge number of districts. Districts, when you say district, that means in various socio-economic indicators they are distressed. Bimaru acronym has been used to refer Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh. Employees have lagged in terms of economic growth, healthcare, and education. Bimaru means sickly in Hindi. The term was used to highlight backwardness, especially with regard to poor performance of demographic indicators, contributions to population explosion. These states has exceptionally high levels of mortality, morbidity, literacy, fertility, undernutrition, and social inequality, lagged behind the per capita income. It was coined by Assis Bose in 1980 in the pinpoint India's demographic malady. He has coined the term Bimaru. Bose mainly argued that from a family planning and population control perspective, these 4 states have high population growth rates were likely to offset the gain made elsewhere in the country. So that's why they have called it Bimaru, because their population growth is more as compared to any other regions. So even if economic growth is happening in other regions, that is being offset because of the high growth rate in these regions. So they are the region of, if other regions are the region of economic growth, then this is the reason. Then this is the reason of economic this is the reason of economic underdevelopment, right? Next, Bimaru states and population growth. The population growth is reported by Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare revealed that Bimaru states, excluding the 3 newly carved out states, will contribute 49.1% of the population increase in India between 2011 and 2036. 2011 and 2036. This will contribute 49.1% of the population increase in India. So, population in Indian states also dictate de-remission process of the number of seats allotted to them in the parliament. So that will also, it dictates the delimitation of the process. So we have to increase the number of MPs because the number of populations are increasing, and obviously it will be very difficult for one MP to address the problems of huge number of population. Currently the seats are proportional to the Indian population as 1971 census. It was frozen until 2021. Yes, it is based on 1971 census. It was frozen until 2021. It has now further has been extended to 2026 to give the states time to meet family planning goals. Right. So to meet the family planning goals, to reduce the population, so that if when the population gets stabilized, then we can increase. The number of seats available for the state legislature. The problem: the southern states of India have repeatedly stressed that the division of seats and devolution of funds of states based on the population are unfair to them as they have been performed in the public planning. That's the issue, right? Because the southern states are developed. For example, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, they are huge. They are Kerala. They are highly developed. Their per capita income is high. They are highly literate. They are getting huge amount of FDI. Their governance is better than the northern states. Their performance, their demography dividend, their employment rates, they are better than the northern states. So they are contributing huge amount towards the nation growth, and they are complaining that that is being used by the northern states, especially in the Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. They are getting huge amount of revenue. So southern states are contributing, and Bihar and this Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, they are getting the funds. That is what the southern states are complaining about. Reasons behind backwardness of the member states: low per capita income. These have traditionally had low per capita income levels compared to the other states in India. Traditionally had low per capita income levels compared to other states in India, with Bihar having lowest per capita income among the Indian states. High poverty rates. They have high percentage of people living in poverty, with Bihar, Uttar Pradesh having some of the highest poverty rates in the country. So they have high poverty rates. Uttar Pradesh have highest poverty rates in the country. Low literacy rates. They have low literacy rates, and on the national average, Bihar having the lowest literacy rates among all the states. Poor health indicators. They have traditionally had poor healthcare indicators with high infant and maternal mortality rates. Agriculture-based economy. These states are primarily agricultural states with a significant percentage of population engaged in agriculture and related activities. Significant population. They are among the most populous states in India, with Uttar Pradesh being the most populous states in the country. Overall, Bimaru states have traditionally lagged behind. Bimaru states have traditionally lagged behind other states in India in terms of economic and social development. Although in recent years there has been progress in improving the developmental indicators. Development indicators. Traditionally lagged behind other states in India in terms of economic and social development. There has been progress in improving the development indicators. Okay. So as compared to any other states, these states are backward, and recently by VANIK-IAS has observed that many of the VANIK-IAS has observed that many of the states there, for example UP, around more than 3 crore people have come out of poverty in last 5 and 6 years. So such type of developments are now getting witnessed in these underdeveloped states. Okay. Next. Positive developments. In recent years, some of the states such as Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh have shown significant improvement in terms of economic growth. Several of these states have experienced high growth rate in recent years. Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, and recording high growth rates more than over 10%. So the economic growth in Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, and UP, that is more than 10% in 2019 and 20. It is very significant. Recent years, some of these states, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, have shown significant improvement. Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan have also recorded growth over 7% in these years. So which is a very good growth. If the growth is more than 7%, it is very good. There has been progress in improving social indicators like literacy rates and healthcare infrastructure. For example, Bihar has seen a significant increase in the literacy rates. The state's literacy increasing from 47% in 2001 to 61% in 2011. Madhya Pradesh ranks fast in distributing Ayushman cards. Yes, for health, for development health. And other states are now adopting MPs Jan Bhagidari model, that is the citizens participation. MP was the first to start Public Service Guarantee Act, Lok Sabha guarantee, to ensure that citizens get the benefit of better facilities. UP has revised its position in the view of GSDP, Gross State Domestic Product. Estimates that indicate UP is now third largest economy after Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. So UP is now third largest economy after Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Rajasthan government recently signed 4192 Memoranda of Understanding involving investment commitment around 10 lakh crore. Add the investment Rajasthan summit. Bihar, the improvement in road connectivity, better maintenance of law and order, and the efforts to raise literacy levels have boosted Bihar's economy. Efforts to raise literacy levels, improvement in road connectivity, better maintenance of law and order, these things have improved the Bihar's economy. Human resource development, the two states share poor literacy levels and health status of its residents. Government at center and state must work in close cooperation with local governments. Close cooperation with local governments and administration to implement schemes in the spheres of education, health, and skill development. So, government should focus on human resource development, skill, education, health, and skill development. And Bihar has a lot of potentials for spiritual tourism. There is Buddhism, there is Buddhist centers, and also spiritual tourism, where UP can be developed as a site of ecotourism. So these things can be developed. Tourism brings in employment for the local people and additionally forex for the nation. Brings in employment for the local people and additionally forex for the nation. Investment, as has the case has been Gujarat, Tripura, Andhra Pradesh, investment summits on similar lines to encourage private investment in these areas can help. Yes, private investment is highly essential. Right. Infrastructure, public investment is much needed in infrastructure development, right? If yes, because public investment is much needed in the infrastructure development. Huge amount of government has to should spend huge amount of money for infrastructure development like road, bridges, and connectivity. There is a lot of untapped potential for roadways, railways, inland and waterways. Ganga River has not been used the optimum, right? Generally, waterways transportation is of low cost. So when you use waterways, then the expenditure is reduced by 30, around 60% expenditure will be reduced if you use waterways. At the same time, if you are there is huge demand in railways, right? Railways, there is huge demand in railways. Government is not able to. There is lack in the supply side. It is the only sector where demand is much higher than the supply. So that's one issue. Another thing is roadways. Roadways are highly essential. The population has increased, the economic activity is increasing, the traffic in the roads are very huge. So roadways development is highly essential, that to increase economic development and transportation and business. Overall, while the Vimaru streets have been progress in recent years, there's still a long way to go in achieving the more equitable development across the country. Vilnius summit in NATO. NATO summit in the Lithuanian capital Vilnius has been concluded. North Atlantic Organizations, it is founded in 1949 in a group of 31 countries in Europe. Finland joined, so it became 31 from 30. Europe and North America that will exist to protect the people and territory of its members. The inclusion of Finland and approval of Sweden as NATO member signals that alliance continues to practice Article 10 of the Washington Treaty. Article 10 of the Washington Treaty, signed in 1949, which member countries can invite European countries to become members of NATO. It founded the principle of collective defense, collective security or collective defense. That means if one NATO ally is attacked, then all the NATO allies will be attacked. That means if now one NATO ally is being attacked, then every NATO member, they will collectively attack against the enemy. For example, when terrorists started in the United States 2001, NATO allies stood with America as though they had not been attacked, because it's a principle of NATO. Open door policy is a founding principle of NATO. This means that any country in Europe is free to join NATO if it is prepared to meet standards and obligations of the membership. Standards and obligations of the membership, any member can join. Contributes to the security of the alliance. It shares NATO's value, freedom, democracy, and rule of law. Freedom, democracy, and rule of law. Is in any country Europe free to join to NATO if it is prepared to meet the standards. Key takeaways in a recent summit. The goal was to reach the agreement that Sweden could join the alliance, which Turkey had blocked. Turkey has blocked. Why Turkey has blocked? Because it has alleged that Sweden is giving the Kurd fighters, right, of Turkey. It is giving yes, it is so it is that's why Turkey has blocked the entry of Sweden. Both of those goals were achieved. Yet one issue is that overshadowed of Vilnius summit in the Ukraine's promised membership in the alliance, on which there was no clarity over the time frame. NATO new plans involve maintaining a force of 3 lakh troops with air and naval capabilities, emphasizing on the importance of strong industrial base, leading to the endorsement of defense production action plan. So there will be a defense production action plan. There will be 3 lakh troops of NATO, so that they can fight jointly in any type of threat occurs. The NATO summit emphasized that development in Indo-Pacific have become increasingly consequential for Euro-Atlantic security, with expanding the space for Quad countries along with the regional countries like New Zealand and South Korea. The US President Joe Biden's speech in the summit extended unwavering support for the alliance as well as the Ukraine. Now NATO is supporting the Ukraine because Ukraine has applied NATO membership, and Russia is working against. Russia is working against the Ukraine, right? And it has taken many areas of the Ukraine towards its control. Threat actors NATO. NATO faces threats from China's malicious hybrid of cyber operations. Yes, malicious hybrid operations. Many times China is, yes, it is cyber attacking many of the countries' website. It is one type of cyber warfare, as well as confrontational rhetoric and disinformation. It is spreading. It is aggressive state. It is a land grabbing state, which specifically about NATO allies project threat to the security of the alliance. But even at the summit was on Russia launched a drone attack in the Kyiv, deflecting an underrated approach to NATO's potential expansion. It is the contestation that is likely to define the future of Eurasian security. Implications from India. In recent years, India has limited engagement with NATO, mostly as political dialogues. India has maintained a strategic alliance on NATO's recent expansion, but it needs to closely watch the scenarios that could emerge. NATO appears to be fortified and ready to face strategic conflicts thrown down by Russia. There is an unending economic pain, and leaders are pledged to meet the burgeoning demand for the weapon and other military support required by the Ukraine to hold on its territories in the east. India's global actor role will be tested in the view of the new European security architecture led by NATO, contested by Russia. So that will be tested in the new European security architecture. What they are writing about India and by their annual statements. NATO flaws its refers to security arrangement of NATO and five treaties allies like US, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Israel, and South Korea. Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Israel, and South Korea, as members, they are going to be joining NATO Plus to enhance global defense cooperation and win strategic competition with the Chinese Communist Party. Interestingly, NATO Plus is not an officially recognized or established concept. NATO itself, it has been discussion and debates the expansion of alliance. That was in debates, so there may be a probability of expansion. Okay. Next is Henley Passport Index. Some prelim facts. Henley Passport Index. India has climbed 7 places in Henley Passport Index to 80th rank from 87 last year. From 87 last year, India has ranked in 80th rank, so it has improved. Henley Passport Index is the ranking of all world's passports according to the number of destinations that holders can access without any prior visa. The index includes 199 different passports and 227 different travel destinations. The index is brought out by Henley and partners. They have been ranking. India is ranking 80. India's performance. India has ranked 72. India ranked 76 with 52 countries allowing Indian passport holders visa-free access. But performance has not been linear. India ranked 88 in 2015. In 2014, India ranked 76. 2018 ranked 88 in 2015. Access to 51 countries. 85 in 2016, 87 in 2017, 81 in 2018, 82 in 2019, and 81 in 2021. So now it is 80 rank. India has 80 rank with respect to Henley Passport Index, and so now 52 countries allowing India to pass to have visa-free access. Singapore is now officially the most powerful passports in the world. Japan, which occupied the top position in the Henley Passport Index for 5 years, dropped to third place. Germany, Italy, Spain occupy the second place. Alongside Japan, the third position of Austria, Finland, France, Luxembourg, Sweden. So Japan has occupied first place with respect to Henley Passport Index. UK climbed 2 places to occupy 4th place. UK at 4th place, and you jointly have UK and US jointly have first place in the index nearly 10 years ago, 2010. So this is about Henley Passport Index. Japan is ranked 1, India is ranked 80, and which is India can get access to 52 countries. Then C-295 aircraft. What is this C-295 aircraft? Indian Air Force is about receiving the first 295 transport aircraft. 295 transport aircraft. This is what is this aircraft? The Airbus C-95 new generation tactical airlifter conducts multi-role operations worldwide under the all-weather conditions. It is equipped with winglets and capable of transporting more payload over larger distances in the hot and high conditions. C-295 aircraft manufacturing plant is set up in Vadodara, Gujarat, which is India's giant leap towards becoming self-reliant and aviation sector. Okay. Self-reliant in aviation sector. It will make India a self-reliant. It is equipped with winglets and capable of transporting more payload over larger distances, right? In extreme weather conditions as well. The C-95 India program, it is Defence Ministry signed 22,000 crore deal with Airbus and Spain procurement of C-95 MW aircraft to replace the Avro aircraft in service with the IAF. As per contract, 16 aircraft would come fly away conditions manufactured at Airbus facility at Seville, Spain. 40 would be manufactured in India. Airbus are jointly with Castle. SC urges center transfer cheetahs to another location. Recently, Supreme Court told the Indian government that the days of 40% the 20 cheetahs brought South America to Namibia in the Kuno National Boundary year do not make a good picture. The fastest and land, what is cheetah? It is the fastest land animal in the world. Social animals cheetah are usually found in groups consisting of either a mother or a young siblings, coalition of males and on together. Adults, females, however, tend to solidarily only meet males to mate, with males to mate, right? That's why females usually give birth between 2 and 8 cubes at a time. In IUCN red list, it is the Asiatic cheetah are critically endangered, African cheetah is vulnerable. This is very important for prelims. Asian cheetah is critically endangered and African cheetahs are vulnerable. Project: the government of India has launched an ambitious project on bringing back cheetah to India. The project Cheetah is being implemented by National Tiger Conservation Authority (NTCA), statutory body of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, in collaboration with Madhya Pradesh Forest Department, Wildlife Institute of India, and cheetah experts in Namibia and South Africa. The project implementation is being done as per the action plan for introduction in India, and a steering committee comprising of eminent experts. Officer first ever successful tiger reservation in Sariska and Pana Tiger Reserve. To oversee the project has also been constituted. Under project, a total of 20 radio collared cheetah were brought from Namibia and South Africa, Kruger National Park, in a first ever transcontinental wild to wild translocation. It is first ever transcontinental wild to wild translocation. After the mandatory quarantine period, all cheetah were shifted to larger acclimatization enclosures. So they have been shifted to largest enclosures after the quarantine period. Currently, 11 cheetahs are under free ranging conditions, 5 animals including a cube born, that is an Indian soil, with quarantine the enclosures. Each of these free ranging cheetahs is being monitored and around the clock by a dedicated monitoring team. The major objectives of the introduction of projects are establishing breeding cheetah population in the safe habitats across its historical range and manage them as meta population. So micromanagement of the cheetah is the most important thing, so that they will not die, otherwise the project will fail. To use the cheetah as a charismatic flagship umbrella species garner resources, restoring the open forest savanna systems that will benefit biodiversity and ecosystems services from this because tiger is a keystone species that it has huge relevance so far as the forest ecosystem is concerned. To use the ensuing opportunity for economic development, ecotourism, to enhance local community livelihoods, and to manage any conflict by cheetahs or other wildlife local communities with cheetah conservation areas expediently through a compensation, awareness and management action. So now the question is, explain the various features of quit India movement distinguishes it from the previous anti-imperial struggle in colonial India. This is the question. Various features of quit India movement. It is about. So quit India movement came at a time when British supremacy was crumbling. Yes, 1942 quit India movement. British supremacy was crumbling. It was declining because 1935 Act was not implemented, and British has also given August offer. We told British August offer was there. British was the administration was weakened because of the World War II, and these are the multiple reasons. The British was giving August offer, and also does Cripps mission was also there for constitutional development. So it is a situation where British supremacy was crumbling. Already two national movements happened in 1919. The NCM and CDM quitted the civil disobedience movement in 1932. So in this, because of these things, British supremacy has declined. With an approach, Japanese forces towards Indian subcontinent. Another thing is Japanese forces were approaching the Indian subcontinent, and British apparent ability to defend the Indian territory. And there was British want to defend Indian territory, so was supposed to join hand. At the backdrop of the Second World War, the British found themselves losing grief over the Indian affairs. Yes, and holding on to it firmly as they can inspire the adverse situation. The failure of Cripps' proposals in Indian public unrest and this own skepticism about the ability of British to defend India. British cannot defend India because it has It has to now focus on World War II. Have led towards the culling of the Quit India movement. They termed as a last, it is a last great movement that occurred in India. Gandhi just said, do or die. Do or die, do according to conscience. This time he has not advocated about the non-violence, the idea of non-violence. He said, do or die, do whatever you want, do according to your conscience. Mahatma Gandhi initiated the new phase of movement against British imperialism by adopting Quit India movement in the middle of the Second World War in 1942. So Quit India movement resolution is passed by Gandhi. He told the British to quit India immediately. To the people he said, do or die, do the efforts in your effort to fight the British. But you must fight. But you must fight non-violently. Exactly, he has to do according to our conscience. What are the features? Lack of organized leadership. Why? Because the leaders were being arrested. The British government was mentally prepared to cross any mass movement within hours of the launch of the Quit India movement. In 8 August, all Congress committee session Mumbai by Mahatma Gandhi. Entire scheduled leadership was arrested and taken to different prisons. Thus, the movement was not led by institutionalized manner when they become leaderless. It was completely decentralized and became a true people's movement. As there is no leaders, so it become a true people's movement instead of the leaders because all the leaders were arrested. Emergence of the underground networks. In the absence of central leadership, the movement went into hands of young leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan, Ram Manohar Lohila, Usha Mehta, Aruna Asaf Ali, who organized underground activities like Underground Radio Network by Usha Mehta, spreading the news through pamphlets, posters, and other underground activities to keep the popular knowledge. Parallel governments are set up at Satara, Vadia, Talcher, Midnapur. Parallel governments. It was a quintessential feature of the government. Right. So parallel government were set up. That means there were the earlier British government in those areas were abolished. In Talcher, right, in Talcher region of Odisha, Midnapur, parallel government was set up. There was no British administration. Attack on British symbols. In the absence of Congress leadership, people reacted in any manner they could. All over the country, there are hartal strikes on factories, schools, and colleges. People took violent actions as they were angered by repeated firings. Yes, repeated firings by the British. There was huge suppression by the British. So people automatically anger generated among the people. They caught telegraph lines, telephone wires, railway lines, burned government buildings. People totally deviated from the Gandhian principle of non-violence, completely deviated. And there was huge violence by the people. And women's participation was also huge in the Quit India movement. Unique sense of women participation. There are not only participating as equals but also led movement. Most of the movements were effectively organized and handled by women leaders like Aruna Asaf Ali, Neeli Gupta, Usha Sharma. In the absence of leaders, Aruna Asaf Ali presided over AICC sessions and hosted the flag. Fierce repression. The British of India was determined to neutralize the movement right from its inception. It deployed police. Military filings were also fired by low-flying aircraft on the counts. So there is huge repression by the British, but there was human participation and people were attacking the British with people are attacking the British with very non-violent methods. Okay. The Quit India movement was do not have a strong agrarian dimension. There was no huge participation from the farmer communities. During the struggle was cut short by massive repression because there was huge British repression and that only were colonial state. While the non-cooperation civilization movement were involved in the peasantry, both because Congress initiative that the peasants themselves did not happen in 1942. They existed in 1942. Quit India movement different radically from the non-cooperation movement and civilization movements. They are conceived as campaigns of peaceful resistance. So NCM and CDM they are peaceful resistance British rule in India. But 1942 movement very beginning was massing uprising to compel the British to withdraw entirely from India because there was huge violence. There was no support. Earlier they were just saying that you just go away, but now they have acted violently. So that's why British withdrew from India. The emphasis of the struggle was not traditional satyagraha to change the heart of the enemy, but earlier the traditional satyagraha was change the heart of the enemy, but enemy fight to finish. It is fight to the finish. Therefore, representing more authoritative challenges in the state machinery. In 1942, Gandhi was also prepared for riots and violence. He accepted the role of individual freedom. Gandhi was now prepared for riots and violence. He accepted the role of individual freedom and civil liberties in the face of state recognized violence. He affirmed that every individual was to consider himself free and act for himself. You are free. Imagining you are free. That is what Gandhi has said, and act accordingly. In 1942 movement was less ambiguous in its declared objectives. It was launched to ensure the complete withdrawal of British power from India. Complete withdrawal. 1942 movement was less ambiguous in declared objectives for India. The nature of the movement has been generally described as spontaneous against the institutionalized and organized character of the entire mass movement. It was spontaneous. It is a mass movement. It is institutionalized. It is a mass movement. Spontaneous, not uninstitutionalized, because it was leaderless. So Quit India movement stands apart from the earlier movements in terms of spirit and enthusiasm. It infused ordinary people, support indigenous institutions, structures of power, lack of organized leadership, formation of parallel governments, emergence of underground networks like Usama has developed regarding the radio things. Quit India movement brought end to British rule. This was the one movement that demonstrated the will and reserve diverse communities in India to withstand both the high-handedness of the imperial authorities and elitism of Indian political class. So the lectures end here, and like this video and share and subscribe to VANIK-IAS. Thank you.